Go button.
Great.
Broadcast video is now live. That means we're here for the 4th episode of the Scallywags Sketchcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Dern J. Genren. With me, as always,
Coughing up a storm. Still,
refusing to hit the cough button, Obsidian Abnormal.
Where is my cough button?
It is right there on the microphone, that big black dot. It's staring right at you.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You do realize I have one hand on the pen and another hand on the keyboard for the buttons that complement the pen, so hitting the cough button means stopping my drawing, and that's not gonna happen. This is like a well-oiled machine.
So oiled. So oiled.
Oh yeah, it's not actually a well-oiled machine, it's an oily machine, which I think there's a big difference.
I do want to point out really quick for our guests checking in, we had a last-minute cancellation of our guest this week, so currently O is working a little bit on the current next page of commissioned. I nearly called it the wrong word. And we'll also be doing a sketch later in the podcast of we'll take audience requests. So those watching us live right now on the YouTube channel, start putting your requests in, and we'll either draw from a hat or let the fickle artist pick whatever he wants to draw.
Which, by the way, if you are planning to tell me draw this or draw that, keep in mind that one of the factors that will come into our decision of drawing this or that will be that it is actually, if it is actually feasible to finish that within the time that the, that the Sketchcast lasts. Like if you ask me, like, draw a city, that would be fun, but that's not going to happen.
Now, O, you are the artist. I'll let you pick on this one. Normally, we have a clock running. Normally, we have the 90-minute clock, which is being shown right now on the screen. Would you like us to start the clock right now?
Yes, please. Start the clock.
We will start the clock at 1 hour and 30 minutes now.
Okay, so for anybody watching, what I'm doing here right now is I am finishing tomorrow's commission, which, by the way, if you want to listen to us but don't want to spoil tomorrow's comic, then I would suggest just, listening to us and not looking at what I'm doing, because that's definitely what's going to happen. You're going to spoil tomorrow's comic. Yeah, these are, as soon as I'm finished with this I mean, it doesn't look like it, but the rest of the comic is all finished. I just made it disappear so it doesn't distract me from doing the background. And afterwards, we will be adding the ninja. It's kind of funny when I do those things, like saying what I'm going to do. I kind of feel like a pilot, like an airplane pilot. Like, okay, we're going to be adding the ninja later on as soon as we fly over Denver and
the Grand Canyon. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never flown over. Have I ever flown over?
You have flown over the Grand Canyon. Yes, you flew over the Grand Canyon this past summer.
With you?
Yes, you did.
And it wasn't romantic.
No. It's just a big, giant gouge on the face of the earth, much like our relationship.
I think that's sexy.
That's really sexy, man.
Exactly.
It's a picture of words.
Yes, so sexy. So, how about, do we have anybody listening?
We do have viewers right now. Yes, we do.
Oh, how about we just answer some questions? Like, if people have questions, maybe we could start there.
We're going to throw it right away to viewer questions. Okay, viewers, you can question by sending us through the YouTube comment. I will try to keep an eye on my Twitter as well, which is @DernJG. But I will make some loud thumping sounds with my microphone as I pull that out. And, yeah, ask us anything. We might actually answer.
Anything.
Anything.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of fun.
I did want to talk a little bit about Thor, Thor 2.
Awesome. When did you see it?
I got to see it last night.
I'm surprised you got to see it.
Yeah. I actually, I'm going through a thing right now where my parents are living with me, so and they've been immensely helpful, being basically full-time babysitters. And this was that first night away from the baby, and some time away from Frank as well. So we got to go out, go to dinner, see a movie, and nervously occasionally check our phones. And wouldn't you know it, 10 minutes into the movie, a baby starts screaming.
Oh, are you in my camp now?
no, I've always been in that camp, especially when I had a baby. Like, there's just no way that you bring a newborn to a movie, especially one that's filled with loud noises and explosions.
Okay, but by the way, if people listening are wondering, I mean, everybody knows that I hate anything under the age of 20.
Right.
Um, but if you're listening, we've actually had this discussion before, Dern and me, where I have, said that children, not even just babies, children should not be allowed into movie theaters. And actually, we managed to reach a sort of compromise, me and Dern, on this, where he said that there should be just special, what is that? Functions?
Well, there actually are for infants. There
Oh
are
yeah, but
things that
that's
are
just where
called
you live.
yeah. Well, and there's not really where I live, but they're called mommy and me showings. So I get to wear the mommy tag if I ever go to those. But yeah, it would just be, and they keep the lights half on, half off, knowing that yeah, you're probably going to get your movie interrupted. There's a good chance, and there's also a good chance that the baby's just going to sleep right through it. But that's a gamble that you should only take when you're with other parents.
By the way, Mommy and Me, I mean, if movies are anything to go by, like being a dad at a Mommy and Me, like theater is kind of sounds like a great way to get some pussy.
Um,
That's
I'm
just
not.
a movie cliche?
It's not. I'm not really comfortable with this reality. It's the hot dad phenomenon. It like I don't know how much I as a dude should be complaining about this. To be honest, it does smack a little bit of male privilege and whatnot. But as a dad, when I'm doing things with my son, it's kind of like and you've heard this complaint from the other direction that if a woman is doing something and she is not trying to be sexy, she's just trying to go about her life, and it can be very uncomfortable to be sexualized in some of those situations. I actually find it very uncomfortable to be being checked out just because I'm being a good dad. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I'm not even joking about that. Like I know it sounds funny
Oh, it
from the
sounds
male
hilarious.
side. Yeah, it sounds hilarious, but I'm in a weird mindset when I'm taking care of my son, and like, well, first off, I have a very loving relationship with my wife. Kind of have that whole thing going.
Disclaimer.
Like that's what I don't get is why the hot dad thing is so hot, because it's very rare that you're going to see the super hot dad with kid not be attached already to a woman
Well,
or another man for that matter.
I
But
suppose
yes.
that would take us to the whole discussion of why men that are in relationships seem to be more attractive in a way. And I guess that just takes us all to the whole, I once read something about this, really.
Hmm.
And what it said was basically that at a certain point, you've proven your worth. Basically, that
Hmm.
like if you are attached, if you have like this sort of
You've been vetted.
no, but basically, if you have a wife and you have a kid and everything, you've basically proven to these people that see you while you're out that I mean that you're worth something, that you have value, that you've made it to a certain point, and I
Hmm.
guess that's sexy.
I can see that to some extent, and I guess I'm also proving that my balls are functional. Always a plus.
Not really.
No, not
No,
really at all.
not really. No.
I,
No.
I do I do get it from the standpoint of I do make damn cute babies.
Well,
So
I not. And by the way, we need to finish this topic soon because I really don't want to be talking
yeah,
about babies.
we're getting way too baby here.
But keep in mind though, you shouldn't brag too much about that because you don't really know what they're gonna look like.
Well,
So it's a gamble. It's
I
a
know
gamble
what they look like now in
Yes,
their
but
physical
that's
existence. In the baby phase, they're very cute. And there's some parts of me that I'm always kind of worried when I say that because people come up to you. Nobody says, "Damn, that's an ugly baby." Even
I
though
said
I've seen some
once or twice.
babies. I've seen some babies, and I have leaned over to my wife and said, "Dude, check out the nose on that baby. Holy crap!" Or things like that. And we just like we kind of do the petty comparison, like, dude, yeah, our baby's so much better than that baby, kicking that baby's ass.
Well, I've said that's an ugly baby. You know, I've said it.
Yeah,
I even said it this weekend. Now that I think of it, yeah, I was
to the mother.
walking. Well, I did say it I did say it in earshot of the parents.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
they did
terrible.
hear me. I was walking by a restaurant. These nice restaurants are kind of open, and you can like see inside from the sidewalk. And oh man, but the parents, they didn't even react, and I'm pretty sure that they didn't even react because that baby was so damn ugly that there's no way they were not like totally aware of it. They had to know that they just had a hideous baby. Damn it, that kid was ugly. I bet he's gonna be like this incredibly good-looking man when he grows up, because there is no way I mean, at that point it's just life being a dick.
It's the Neville Longbottom factor.
Yeah, like that baby is going to be very good looking, because otherwise there is just no justice in the universe, because damn it, he was ugly.
Okay, I do actually want to touch on Neville Longbottom for a second, because we all know, we've all seen the, oh my god, what he looks like now that he no longer has to be the actor that played Neville in the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
Like, we all saw those pictures of him, like, 2 months after Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
Where he's, like, suddenly, more manly
Super
and
hunk. Yeah, super hunk.
fairly hunky. Oh my gosh, I saw a picture of him, like, in the past month.
Yeah.
He has gotten even hotter. Like, I am now officially gay for Neville Longbottom. Like, that is, you look at a picture of him, like, damn, that is an attractive man.
Well, what can I say? I mean, I don't know.
You're gonna. We'll look it up later. We need your screen to be focused on drawing. You've burned away. You've burned away 10 minutes of your drawing time at this point. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess there's not really much of a rush for me to check out Neville Longbottom.
And feel conflicted feelings.
Yeah, I feel like, oh, you know what? I agree with Dern. I guess we're just gonna go gay for Neville.
Yeah.
I don't really see that happening, but I always like the story of how, like, Mr. Longbottom got to be in the end, the hunky dude. Everybody loves an underdog.
I used to love the theory that he actually was the chosen one the whole time, and I wish that would have paid off. That would have been so great if this whole time Harry Potter was just a giant psychopathic distraction to keep the chosen one safe so he could actually finish Voldemort off.
I never really, to be honest, I never really liked that theory.
Right, that theory worked until I believe the sixth book finally, like, definitively broke it.
Yeah, I was never a really big fan of that theory, mostly because I am actually, I mean, when it comes to, like, which character in the book you really, really like, I really, really like Harry.
Well,
I think he's an awesome character.
I should also point out, for those that visited the commissioned comic site for Adventures of Dwarf Elf and Were-Tiger, that theory was a very big influence in the short story, the Vision of the Badger Mage, just to suggest that, maybe our heroes are not actually the heroes. Yeah.
Everything's possible.
Mm-hmm.
So what have we got in the chat room?
Right now, we've got a couple hellos, and I do believe we have a early on request of a furball with a bow. I believe that is
Were-Tiger with a bow?
I hope that's a drawing request and not a question, because I don't have any furballs and bows in my house. I can contest to that. I can't contest to that with O's house. Yes.
Well, if that's a request of Were-Tiger with a bow, I would just direct you here to the screen.
Well, if I actually looked at the screen up to what you're drawing and realized that, oh yes, by the way, spoilers, where
Oh no,
Tiger
no.
picks up a bow and arrow.
Oh no, I already announced the spoilers. Remember, I announced them at the
Yes.
beginning of the whole thing. But
I'm just now realizing that that's not a drawing request. That's a realization of what's happening
oh,
in the plot line.
okay,
That
it's just
major.
somebody pointing it out.
Yes, he's actually pointing out what you're doing, and
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm running no commentary on what you're doing, and it's just dawning on me. Oh yes, that major turning point in the plot, which I wrote. I'm just yeah. I furball with a bow. Oh, I would recommend that you draw that.
Well, done.
Done. Boom.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're just
Okay.
that good. Done.
You're almost done with the background at this point, aren't you?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's almost time to take that request and draw something.
Yeah. So clock is ticking. Those watching, feel free to pitch in a suggestion of what you'd like to see O draw for the remaining 1 hour and 16 minutes.
This is weird.
Mm-hmm. Furball with a bow.
Yeah, somebody just pointing it out.
It has been clarified that I am indeed an idiot, and that it was not a request but a cry of joy. Yes. To be fair, our loving fandom here is not referring to me as an idiot, but I will take care of that for them and verify that, yes, I am the idiot here.
I'll agree.
Yes, I'm even the one that suggested that we switch him over to a bow user.
No, that was me.
No. Was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I remember the conversation. We were basically discussing what he can do, what his abilities are, what he had done already, and what we had left.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of what possibilities had been explored. And
it's very difficult to talk about this without like spoiling something that happens on about page 55.
yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much like we had this whole conversation about, basically after we've tried, after he's tried this and that and this and that and that and this, what comes next?
And to help make him it helps make him be a different character from what we've seen. Hey,
yeah.
It is just occurring to me that if Elf is holding his arm up that way, you can see his tattoo.
Oh yeah, you can. That is one of the two things missing from the comic right now.
Okay.
That and the ninja. Oh, and of course the dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
The dialogue is, if I'm not mistaken, it's just like the first panel.
Yeah. We do have a question that it was implied. I do want to point out for the people commenting on us, we're on a bizarre delay because we're recording in Google Hangouts and it broadcasts to YouTube, but there's like a 10 to 15 second delay. So we need, if the question is something that we're talking about, also we basically have the memory of goldfish.
No, you do. You do.
Yes, yeah.
Don't generalize there.
What was I? What was it? Was I implying something? Were you implying something?
What?
Literally, the second a word jumps out of my mouth, it is gone. It is just my brain has moved on, and.
But
yes.
we haven't been implying anything.
We're
very, very, very clear people on what we do.
Alright, so I will go on being confused for a little bit. By the way, some of the requests that we have now are Shoggoth and Shoggoth eating Harry Potter.
I'm gonna counter request that and ask our listeners that let's not do fan art today. Let's just do something cool.
I'm actually kind of amazed that you're resisting not fan art in general, but that fan art.
And repeat it to me, please.
Shoggoth.
Yeah. I know who Shoggoth is. Don't worry. Yeah, it's just that just.
That was me stuttering because I couldn't remember. Is he Mountains of Madness or which story was he?
Oh, yeah, he shows up in Mountains of Madness.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I mean, I'll do fan art, but basically, okay. Here's the thing. We got like a certain amount of time for what we're doing.
Hmm.
So if it's something I think I can finish in that kind of time and make an awesome image, I'll go for it. But if on the other hand it's like something I'll just have to do like in a very kind of doodly, kind of bunny bacon manner,
Hmm.
yeah,
So we want, are you looking for something that's more simplified, like say a giant robot?
yeah, something like that.
Hmm. A fancy dragon.
A
Yeah,
fancy dragon.
fancy dragon.
Fancy that.
One of our viewers have noted, so they only have to ask questions about what we're going to say 15 seconds into the future.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yes.
Yes.
We
Yes,
are
if you could.
trying to train the world so that we have more psychics available. Minority Port is not going to start itself, and I said Minority Port, didn't I?
Yeah, it's a different movie. It's a movie about like these sailors and how they end up like they sail into a port.
Hmm.
And wow, that story is just about to get like horrible.
I was just thinking that it's really just a story about Tom Cruise down in his wine cellar, just like going through all the different ports with his fingers in the air. What's great is I'm actually doing the Minority Report finger in the air thing, forgetting the fact that even though this is a video cast, there's no camera on me. No one can see these arms, and I'm refusing to stop doing this.
It's kind of cool that the image I'm opening right now to use as reference for the comic I'm coloring right now is the image from the first Sketchcast.
Yes, it is.
That was kind of more interesting in my head when I thought about it. But
It's a
still.
callback. So exciting.
Okay, so we're almost done here. So it's almost time to start on the second part of the show, which would be like some other kind of art. Come on, people, give me a give me a nice little challenge. Challenge.
Well, I don't know why I was stopping and waiting. I was forgetting about the 15-second delay there for a second.
Oh.
But I'm like, okay, what are they going to say? What are they going to say? And at the same time, like, this is the fun thing of working with an artist, and the finickiness of it has to be just right.
Well,
It's
it's what
it's a
we do.
Goldilocks situation that we have here. It has to be something meaty, something interesting. Yeah, like monsters or that. I'm trying to think what's been going on recently that we could sort of thematically do. Um, I want to go back to Thor real quickly.
Yeah, we were going to talk about Thor.
I don't know if you remember or have heard about this with the Agents of Shield TV show.
We
They're
talked
actually,
about it last week.
yeah. I think next week's episode or the one after that. I'm a little vague on the details. They're actually going to have Chris Hemsworth on as a guest star.
Okay.
So they're actually going to bring Thor in. And this is a little bit spoilery, so for those that haven't seen Thor 2, just kind of mute for about 2 minutes, and I'll get this through real quick. Looking at the last, how that ended up and where Thor's character is in the Marvel Universe at this specific moment, do you know how much I would love it if the episode is entirely Thor and Agent Coulson house hunting?
Just trying to find a place for him to live.
Just finding a place to live, and it's like there's this TV show here in America called House Hunters,
Yeah, I've
where
seen it. It's
they
called
go
House.
through.
Yeah, we get Fox Life.
You get House Hunters as well.
Yeah.
Excellent, and I just love the idea of him going through and like getting upset at a kitchen, or being really happy about a skylight, or wanting to add a mudroom to a house.
Um. Uh, I don't know what to say.
It would be the most amazing, surreal 40 minutes of television. I would love it.
I think I think there's a lot of possibilities when the producers of a show come to the realization that the show is not working. that it's just like not working out. So maybe they decide to just, you know what, let's just do whatever we feel like,
Yes.
and they do.
And that's when some of the most amazing things in television can happen.
When they
That
just
being
decide
said,
that they don't care anymore.
that being said, I'm now going to stop talking spoilery stuff about Thor 2,
Okay.
and I will try to time that, and I'm going to make a tag in the comments in like 2 minutes, or if somebody didn't mute me when I'm getting to this, when I'm talking right now, tell the chat room they can unmute now. Yeah, it should be 2 minutes by start to finish. Agents of Shield. I think I figured out how to fix like the biggest problem that show has. Make Agent
Okay. Let's.
Ward corrupt. Make him a villain.
You do realize I've never seen this show, so you basically
Oh.
just started a discussion that you don't have anybody to discuss it with.
Oh my gosh, this would be mind-blowing if you were watching it. Okay, Whitey McWhiterson. Whitey McWhiterson, the most boring piece of cardboard ever to be cast as an agent, and I don't blame the actor. What he's been given to do is just not that interesting. He's basically like a super James Bond style guy, and if they actually were to just corrupt him, like basically he's the guy that I was hoping they were going to, instead of having him be the on-field guy, be like Luke Cage, Power Man. That's what I was hoping. And instead, we got Whitey McWhiterson, and if they made him evil, at first secretly, and slowly selling out the team, that would be amazing.
Okay, by the way, people watching, if you don't want to spoil where the ninja is, you can stop looking about now.
Yes.
And I'm going to wait about 15 seconds before I actually draw the ninja, just in case.
Our audio is tied to the pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're good there. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, if you want, I could actually throw the clock up right now. Would you like that?
Well, maybe somebody does want to see me draw the ninja. I don't know.
Okay. Huh. I just realized something.
You never look for the ninja, though.
No, I just realized something about what I show when I put the clock up, and I'll talk to you about that later. But,
Okay.
I'm going to only show the clock in quick flashes from here on out, and somebody's going to pause it and stare at it and try to figure out what I'm talking about, but it's nothing big, guys. It really isn't. It reveals our secret plans. Yes.
Okay.
But nothing too big.
Okay.
So yeah. Crap. You don't watch S.H.I.E.L.D. Because,
No.
you live in a separate country.
No. I mean, I could watch it, but
really?
What happened is I at the moment I don't have any TV because the cable that connected to the TV, basically my TV and internet come through the same cable, but there's only one of those cables, so I had a splitter, and my internet connection was growing very unstable, and it turns out that it was splitting. It was because I was splitting the signal between the TV and internet, so now I don't have any TV anymore. That didn't happen before, but it was happening now, and in case anybody listening is saying like that's not the way it works, well, it did fix the internet, so I mean it did fix my connection. Okay, now let's see if I can make this what I want it to be.
We just had a request for Jess, I'm catching up on these, a steampunk cat and a tap dancing steampunk cat.
A tap dancing steampunk cat.
And we also got a question, whatever happened to the forum? It was only online for, I don't know, a few weeks or so. Spam.
Yeah, spam happened to the
We
forums.
got spammed so hard that not only did Google shut down the email that was handling all the registration work on that site, but also the site hosting us said, dude, you can't do this. Like, just the sheer volume of Double Dong coming at us, we couldn't handle Double Dong.
Yeah, the server kind of got unstable just because of the forums, and
Mm-hmm.
seeing that the forums were just starting, it was really a matter of, okay, these things,
Yeah.
uh, they could get a lot bigger, and we can't handle them right now. So,
Mm-hmm.
it
Trust
was
me,
just gonna get worse.
we want to have the forums. I understand. It was talking to the fans for the past 2 years, and I started keeping track of. I started occasionally casually talking to them about how, what they remember, things like that. And I started meeting so many of the lifelong fans of Commissioned, and realizing they're all forum fans. Well, not all, but a huge percentage of our most hardcore fans were part of this great forum community. And I really respect that, and I'd love to bring that back. So we are working to eventually get the forums back together. This was not a screw the forums. I can't put up with this drama. None of
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. We don't
Yeah.
really. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we actually like them and all that kind of stuff. It's
Yeah.
just wasn't really working out in terms of the server load and all that. I mean,
Goddamn
just
Double
just to
Dog.
kind of tease and stuff like that. We also had a wiki. I mean, it's not even that much of a tease because we actually
Yeah.
announced it.
Mm-hmm.
But we even had a wiki
Yeah.
ready to go, and with information and
We already had
about the
pages up
cast.
for Dwarf, Elf, Were Tiger that we were going to edit as more of their character got revealed. It was going to link to key pages. We had a page up for the furs already. Um, Even I
But
think each individual fur already had his page ready to go.
but the same thing happened. It just got so.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is with our site and spam. Like,
yeah.
if anybody, I mean, I'll just throw this out there. By the way, if anybody listening knows what it is we're doing wrong, that makes everything get so spammed, because it's also happening to the site. I mean, I suppose anybody here that is a fan of the comic has noticed that every now and then we get like these malware warnings on the site and all that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. And that's just like, that's just it. It happens over and over and over again, and we haven't been able to figure out what it is we're doing that makes that happen.
Yeah,
So
it's a special level of frustration, and it's one of those things that when Scallywags International gets a little bigger, like our first extra employee that we hired was a colorist, and that's also our intern. The next one, it's a toss-up between a tech person and an accountant. Yeah. And then after that, we need like a warehouse employee to handle shipment and fulfillment.
and
And
after that,
I'm,
massage.
yes, Swedish.
So yeah, if anybody listening to this is Swedish,
Mm-hmm.
or I suppose a Swede, is that the word?
A Swede, yes.
A Swede. If anybody listening is a Swede and you know how to make a massage, you know how to give a good massage, well, we're waiting for you.
Mm-hmm. Or Neville Longbottom, standing offer.
I'm you can you can take that one.
Yeah.
I'm not really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not really interested in having Neville massage me. Unless he's like really good at it, like the guy's famous, like he gave everybody massages on the movie set and all that. Like the director would actually go up to him and say like, "Yo, Neville, time for my massage," and the guy would be like, "My name's not Neville," and
Yeah. Or he just cracks his knuckles and says, "Yeah, these
it's
are the
time.
fingers. These are the fingers that made McGonagall happy."
So you suppose good old Neville was kind of like the Ryan Gosling of the Harry Potter universe?
Um, in what respect? That he was around for a while and then suddenly became dreamy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because I remember Ryan Gosling from before, and it didn't used to be that way.
Yeah, he basically he is. Uh, it's I was gonna make an ugly duckling thing, and then I realized that his name already is Gosling, so it's a little too apt for me.
Well, yeah, but still, that's the thing. The guy suddenly became like, hey girl,
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm gonna have to try that. Then again, I'm already good looking, so there's not really much you can do. Okay, I think this is ready. Let's just add some text, and we can proceed to whatever we're gonna draw. Have we had any new options? I definitely like it when I
Um,
have choices.
hmm. There's some advice being given to us about how to improve our forum.
Oh well, like I'll just take the liberty right here without even consulting with my counterpart here and say, like, any advice you have, we would definitely appreciate it more in email form where we can actually, like, sit down and read it.
Yeah, but I kind of, out of respect for the bots, I am leaning towards more and more towards the giant robot option. The steampunk cat is also still a solid contender for me, with or without the gift of tap dance.
Comic 41. The big 42 is coming up.
Uh,
The
does
answer.
it answer anything? I can't remember.
It's got a bit of an answer in it. It's not really.
I'm looking around for paperwork that I was like scribbling on today, realizing I left that upstairs. But no, I actually did some scripting in my monthly support group today. So I'll talk to you about that later. Fun stuff.
Okay.
Hmm. When I say my monthly support group, it's like, yeah, my webcomics addicts group that we have. Yes. I will say this: if you're a artist out there, and art comic making is
Hard.
pathetically lonely crap, and it shouldn't be, because the hilariously weird, ironic thing about it is that, okay, there are a lot of antisocial comic making people there. There are a lot of introverts in here, and it's odd that we do have some extroverts floating around like me, and at times can be very extrovert. And it's good to get these groups together to at least meet once a month, and they tend to be very friendly, nice people. And I'm really at that phase where I'm a little choked up because with my wife and I moving soon, I'm moving away from this support group, and it's like on the short list to do is start new support group, take over world. Yes. Because it's just a group that meets once a month. We sit down in a restaurant or a mall, we doodle, and we eat, and we talk. And it's that nice, just bit of a rhythm, bit of a community to lean back onto. You got
Okay.
nothing? You
Uh,
you have an intern, so you have somebody to draw with on a daily basis.
I pay them.
Doesn't matter. They also want that job very much. It is the cool job on campus.
Well, I've given that some thought. Okay, to people listening that don't know what we're talking about. Okay, we here at Scallywags have an intern
Mm-hmm.
that works coloring the comic, doing different types of support and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. And basically, it is an internship that the students that study graphic design, where I teach, can take, and it is, in fact, one of the cool ones that you can get. But I'm not very proud of that because the competition is not exactly like it's not like there's a bunch of other awesome internships and they're picking this one. I mean, I don't know how it is. I'm sorry, with other programs and stuff like that, but internships are here in Colombia, where I am. Internships are what I like to call the designer's military service. They basically, it's just like, ugh, okay, we got to do this then. And
We probably should also point out that your country has mandatory military service.
Yeah, but it does, but it's been such a long time since I've come across a student of mine that had to do it. Like, apparently I had to do it and then nobody else.
Hmm.
Which,
Well, they basically said, "Look, let's cut our losses.
like,
Seriously,
this
it's
guy
only
did
been a
not.
year." By the way, we did get a recommendation for a zombie astronaut.
Zombie astronaut.
Mm-hmm.
That is interesting. Do I want to do a zombie astronaut?
Hmm. Can the last-minute suggestion stick? This will be interesting. As we ponder this, we're looking at the clock, see that we have 52 minutes and 8 seconds left.
Let's go for it.
It's going for it.
I'm just gonna first off look up the astronaut suit,
Okay.
and here I have it. Let's look for.
Now, right away, as you're looking at this, I want to point out that the first thing you did was throw down a 3x3 grid. Is this just to help you with the rule of thirds?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. Should we explain the rule of thirds for the non-artists watching?
Well, it's pretty simple. Basically, what it is you got the space in the page. If you divide it by halves, it's just a little bit too familiar, and it's not really very interesting for the human brain. And when you break things by thirds, it kind of ruins that symmetry, which we have been taught to think is always better, but it's not. Symmetry is boring, and it's not really challenging for the brain. So the brain doesn't find it very interesting, and therefore the image is less interesting for the brain. When you do the whole distribution by thirds, you basically are challenging the brain to see something, and it just becomes more interesting. The image just works better that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's a oversimplification of the whole thing, but yeah.
There is some desire from the comments section that they're hoping that you get like an old school Russian cosmonaut, astronaut.
No, that shouldn't be that difficult. Let's see. I'll just write Russian
Well, you could just do cosmonaut.
cosmonaut. Well, who knows? Maybe India had cosmonauts, and they never really, or maybe like.
I'm not going to make fun of India's space program because it's probably going to be matching pace with the U.S. space program in the next 15 years.
Well, that's just because you guys gave up.
No, it's more that they have a fast developing tech industry. So.
And you guys gave up.
True. It's been pointed out that the really sad truth about the U.S. space program is that we need the India space program, that we need also the Chinese space program to do good. The moment those two programs start kicking our ass, the moment that a Chinese crew lands on the moon, the U.S. will get back in the space race immediately.
You don't want them like messing up your flag?
Well, apparently our flags are messed up already.
Yeah, I've heard that they're basically white now.
Yeah, we have officially surrendered the moon because the flags have bleached out and become white, but they're all still standing.
Well, yeah, that's not really very challenging. The flag, there's not like any wind to knock them over. So, But still, anyway, I think it's kind of funny that you guys basically are like the little kid that doesn't want to play with his toys anymore until some other kid wants to play with them.
I know. It's incredibly depressing to me. I am actually a very big fan of space exploration as it is. There's also a question: is there any Colombian space program?
There's a lot of weed. There's a lot of weed in Colombia, so there's definitely some space cowboys. There's a lot of that.
Good.
Yeah, but no. I think we have some other issues to worry about before we start launching people into space.
Well, do you know if you have any satellite launches or anything?
I think I'm not really sure. I don't want to answer that question. Partly because like you asked it, so what the fuck do I give? But mostly because I don't want to come across as ignorant. Which, by the way, I'm just admitting ignorance, and that makes me
I don't want to come across as ignorant, but I don't fucking know.
I think I know we haven't launched any satellites of our own, so I suppose that if we have any satellites in space, we're basically just using somebody else's.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that would be what we do. I don't really know.
I would like to point out that on a space-related note, there was a moment this past summer. O and I were at a convention, it was San Diego Comic-Con. We're sitting at the table, and I look over and I'm like, dude, I actually asked O if a dude was cosplaying as Bobak Fendesky. Shoot, that's not his name. Should I look up his name real quick? Bobak, what is your name? What is your name? It's Tweets So Loud, for those that know. Those that would know, he's also the Mohawk guy from NASA. When the USA landed a rover on Mars, he had this totally awesome Mohawk with like some stars and stuff added to it. And so I saw a guy walking around with that Mohawk. And I'm just like looking at it like, dude, somebody's cosplaying as Bobek. And the more I look at it, it then actually dawned on me, no, that straight up just was Bobek. And I guess the point that I'm about to try to get to in a ham-handed way, as I stare at my phone at the same time, is I have very weird celebrities.
Good for you. Now,
yes. Now that was boring.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, there's a question out here that somebody just noticed that you're using Windows.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, is this in the form of a question or is it a remark?
It's just a remark.
Okay, yeah, of course I'm using Windows. Why would I be using anything else?
Ferdowski. Bobak Ferdowski.
Good, you didn't let that go. Okay.
No. Yeah.
Why would I be using anything? I mean, like, what are the options? Linux? Photoshop doesn't work in Linux, not properly.
Theoretically, you could have been using an Apple machine. He's just now noticing that you're using a PC as well, I guess.
I would never, I would not use an Apple machine, not unless it was the final option. Like, there's nothing else I can work on. Guess I'm going to have to go to Apple.
I do remember, though, that the funniest thing about it, though, is that when you did start doing this particular brand of Windows, you were fascinated by the fact that you're actually using a legal copy of Windows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Windows 8, awesome.
And
I don't know what people are complaining about. It is an awesome system.
Bonus educational. Columbia has launched a satellite into space. One of our viewers have looked this up. They are probably pointing out the fact that so long as they comment something on the YouTube channel, I will pretend that it's an absolute fact. But in 2007, on hitchhiking aboard a Russian rocket...
See, exactly what I said.
Libertad Uno.
See, what I said. We were basically just hitchhiking on somebody else's thing. I know we don't have any capacity to launch anything into space from here.
Well, America is going to be still sending astronauts into space, but they're just going to be hitchhiking onto other people's shuttles. So that's nothing either.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
I don't.
There's
really...
no shame in that.
No. I don't really. I mean, there's a list of things I consider to be of problems that are probably demand more attention from us right now.
Mm-hmm.
But good to know. We have some satellites. I suppose we use them, so we can broadcast soccer more efficiently, I guess.
Oh yeah. I know you're getting ready for that World Cup fever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I still haven't even. That's the other thing that I might even have people look that up. I need to find out if USA and Colombia are going to be in the same pool, just so that you can still not care.
I was just about to say that. I need to make it perfectly clear that I do not give a fuck.
Fucks given were at an all-time low.
Oh yeah, I mean I just checked. And there were no fucks. No fucks being given.
Man, 'tis the season for the giving of fucks,
I
among
I
other things.
I think it's kind of sad that nobody thinks about how good the astronauts look. And I think it's kind of sad because, if we keep on sending them into space looking all frumpy and stuff, we're never going to have love in space. And, there's a time for everything, and I think now is the time to have, like, some sexy loving.
I was gonna say, you seriously think that astronauts have not had sex in space?
No, I'm sure, but I just want, like, the romantic kind of. When are we going to get the movie about the guy that met some other astronaut in space and they fell in love and stuff? But if you're looking this way, all you have is like, okay, I'm an astronaut, I'm horny, let's have sex. Okay, great.
Eh,
I need. Where's the passion?
you
I
need
know.
some-
I know dancing in space must be difficult.
Mhm.
It's gotta be.
Well, I'm just thinking all parts of that plan are probably difficult. It definitely, like, just the sheer, like, opposite and equal reaction type things.
Well,
Like,
we're
I
never.
could see. I mean, clearly a lot of Velcro has to be used.
Well, we're never gonna have our space reality show with that attitude.
True.
And we need a space reality show
Yeah, that's how we'll populate Mars.
with the space reality show.
Not just because I want to send a bunch of reality TV stars out into a deep space no return mission, but it's a benefit. Just saying.
The thing about you sending reality TV stars to mission to Mars means that you are actually planning for reality TV to be here for many years to come, and I think that's sad, Dern. Why would you think that?
I'm an optimist, but at the same time, I'm a pragmatic optimist.
You should be a little bit more optimistic. I want to think that reality TV is going to end someday.
It's just too cheap and too entertaining.
And I know that it's the cliche to hate reality TV, but I just can't help it. I hate reality TV. I hate soccer. I hate you. I hate so many things.
It just, when that hate, just keep it warm and close to your chest. That's the important thing.
Oh no, I never lose the hate.
Yeah.
I never lose the hate, but I do like answering questions. So.
This next question is, what is love?
I would say that it's baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. I would say that is what love is.
Yeah, who put the bop in the bop shabop shabop?
I don't know, but we have to thank him because he made my baby fall in love with me.
Who let the dogs out?
Oh no, that one is too much.
No, we crossed the line there.
Yeah.
No.
I'll go with the bop, but
Oh, shirts. Are you too sexy for them?
no, but I am too sexy for the catwalk.
Does it hurt?
It gets close every now and then.
Are you going to give me up?
Yeah, I'm not Rick. I am gonna give you up.
Are you going to let me down?
I've done it so many times already.
You really have. Just a life filled with letdowns. Yes.
Are we gonna get any real questions, or are these just things you're making up?
Unfortunately, some of the viewers that are really paying attention are sending me factoids about the World Cup, and I'm just staring at them like, that's interesting.
About the World Cup? Why?
Because I mentioned it.
None of the people on this show give a fuck about the World Cup. I don't give a fuck, and you're not allowed to give a fuck.
I give a conditional fuck about the World Cup.
No. When the World Cup comes around, if you watch it, you have to do it in secret and in silence.
I'm sorry, but at the same time, how great would it be if USA won the World Cup?
That is the only, very improbable way that you would have my permission and blessing to talk about the World Cup.
Think about how pissed off the rest of the world will be, because for you, this is a win. You want to know why? The greatest country of not giving a fuck about the World Cup would have won it. So many fucks would be not given. It would be like the singularity of not give a fuck.
Oh, no. I mean, it would be awesome for the World Cup to be won by a country filled with people that just don't care. That, it kind of feels like that trophy that you win for participation and you just put it in your closet. Years later, you find it and you can't even remember what the trophy's about.
Holy crap, audience!
What?
Oh my gosh! I am judging the audience. I think they just sent a death threat to you.
Oh?
The question is, when will O finally follow in the footsteps of Macho Man Randy Savage?
And die?
Yeah! First off, let's not take Macho's name in vain here. Like, seriously, this is a serious topic. You do not invoke the Macho. But
well, I am curious as to what it is they mean. Like,
we need a clarification on this. Seriously, the footsteps of Macho Man Randy Savage, other than saying, oh yeah, and snapping into many a Slim Jim, is dead.
I once had a Slim Jim. I can't say I liked it.
It occurs to me, if you're Macho Man Savage, does that make me Andre the Giant?
I don't know if I want to be Macho Man Savage if I were to be a wrestler.
If you were to be a dead wrestler.
A dead one.
A dead wrestler, yes.
Oh crap, a dead one. Didn't that short, very acrobatic Mexican guy die? No, wait.
No, just his knees.
Well, that's... I mean...
Wait, are we talking about an
No, Rey
luchador?
Mysterio. I'm talking about Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio, just his knees.
Well, no,
they are actually
Mysterio, but,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, the knees is not very...
You like pull up the shorts, they are just skeleton right now. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well...
And now he's the audience member is just laughing at us, saying, "Ha ha, you guys are dead. This is hilarious."
Well, okay.
There are worse people to be than Macho.
No, I'm not saying it would be bad to be Macho. I'm just saying if I got my pick of a wrestler I could be, that wouldn't be my first pick.
But you'd want to be Mysterio if he were alive?
Well, we already determined that Rey Mysterio is not dead, so...
If you were allowed to pick a live one.
Oh, a live one? I'd be Rey Mysterio.
Okay.
Or Batista.
You could go with, like, El Santo.
Yeah, that's funny.
Who I believe is actually dead.
But no, maybe Batista. Maybe I'd be Batista just because I'm curious how it feels to be like that big.
To have a neck that just flexes all the way down to your pinky.
Yeah, like.
I gotta admit, I love that man's neck, man, or lack thereof.
I just love the fact that he made that transition to movies, and because he is just like pre-made for movies, like he is so absurd in his size and all that kind of stuff that it's just like, yep, he's movie material.
Okay, we do have an honest clarification here. I believe the listener would like you to take up the helm of Racho the Macho Brahafri.
Oh, that I should be his replacement?
I like how you're going with that. Like, yeah, Darren gave up on English, but you're going to go with this. Yeah, that you are the next Macho Man Savage, that you will put on the frilled jacket, the lift shoes, and the cowboy hat.
Interestingly enough, there was a wrestler that was a comic book artist. Not very good one. But he did make, he did go pro with it. Then again, there is the question of if he went pro because he was a wrestler or because he was good. But Ultimate Warrior actually made his own comic, and he was the artist.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
This was a while ago. This was 90s, and...
Okay, wait. Ultimate Bounty is going out here right now. For this next year of conventions, if anybody brings me a copy of that comic at a show, we'll have to get something for them. I'll have something special, but I need to see this.
Yeah, Ultimate Warrior made a comic.
Oh my gosh. Is it batshit insane?
It's...
Did you actually see it, or do you just know?
I mean, I don't have it. No. I mean, I saw it and I read about it, and I read the article way back. This was way back when Wizard magazine was something that I used to buy, all that kind of stuff. And I remember the article about Ultimate Warrior and looking at it and going like, oh, so a wrestler.
I now know in my heart that this is a level of desire that I have. It's like Stan Lee NHL comics, where he made a bunch of comic characters based off of NHL teams, which is as awful as you think it is.
Oh yeah, I remember when I saw them, when I saw the website. I mean, I've never been a fan of Stan Lee, but as soon as I saw that, whatever little respect they might have had for him, lost.
Now, I want to see those comics, but I also want to put absolutely no effort into getting those comics.
You just want them to come to you.
So if they come to me, like I'll have to reward somebody accordingly. Like, I'll swap out I'll probably swap out like a Hello a Cheese book, or our commission book will be coming out this spring, collecting the very first story arc of Adventures of Dwarf Elf and Were Tiger. Not the very first, but the one that we're doing right now. I mean, yes. Does that make sense? The one that we're drawing at the beginning of the podcast, we should be coming out with that book. Like, I could I'll do a sketch copy. That's right. I will sketch inside that book and utterly destroy it because I'm not the artist.
But still, you're willing to do it for an Ultimate Warrior comic.
I would swap that for an Ultimate Warrior comic, yes.
So yeah, I mean, like there is a crossover area there between me
and hey, if you're at that show, so if it's like San Diego Comic-Con or Dragon Con, I'll make you sketch in that book too.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've got no problem. I mean, I do it anyway.
Yeah, but I get to keep the comic. I'll let you look at it. I'll let you read it.
Well, you'll basically have to pay me my half.
Sure. Which is the honor of being in the presence of a comic done by the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh no, you'll pay me. You'll pay me like in something of value, because otherwise I won't do the sketch and you won't get your comic. So you'll pay me.
Damn. So I'm actually going to have to put a monetary worth on my desire to.
I'll trade you for it.
See this, yeah.
I'll trade you for it.
We need to get something like that, like a holy grail for us,
Yeah. Well, I'll trade you for it. I still haven't decided what you have of value, and no, you cannot give me one of your kids.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're at the point right now.
They probably. I know that probably the Ultimate Warrior comic is going to cost more than them. Actually, I mean, I'm curious. I mean, is this one of those comics that has like a lot of value now?
Oh gosh, I really hope not, because I don't want to be like trying to like scam readers. I really hope it's worth like 50 cents. But it's worth so much more to my heart.
Like, is this one of those comics that cost like thousands and thousands of dollars?
Is this according to Wizard?
I seriously doubt it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I was actually reading a financial article in Forbes magazine that was going off on the value of comics and how a lot of people were starting to try to cash in their comic book collection, and they thought that they had like $20,000 in comic value, and they could only get like $500 for the whole thing.
Okay, is this because they were damaged, or just because they were not as valuable as they thought?
Just because it was all comics from the 90s and 2000s. That, if you believe Wizard Magazine values for these comics, they are a joke and a lie. And I quote Wizard Magazine, and it doesn't even exist anymore. I think the Overstreet Price Guide is another example of that. Like, those comics, like, if you bought a comic for $3, it's probably worth 5 cents now.
Oh, I got a bunch of number ones that like might have some value that is higher than what they cost me, but still not high enough to make it like worth selling. Like I got.
The reality is, if you bought a number one at a store, some other store bought 10 extra copies of that, got them slabbed, and have never been opened and are in pristine condition.
Yeah, like I have a Wildcats number one.
Nope.
I have the Max number one.
Nope.
No, I know they're not of value, but I have the first edition of these. Like, and it's good for me. Like, I have
Mhm.
the number ones of these comics that I love, and that's pretty much all that should be important.
You could get the first 5 issues of Warrior on eBay for $30. Again, I'm
Still
just
a little
taking
bit
it as straight
expensive.
up fact.
Yeah, still a
So
little bit expensive.
see, yeah, I could definitely, I'll definitely have to get something better than just like a signed copy book for us or something like that. I'll figure something out. We could put a, oh man, if somebody were to get a set of Warrior comics for me and you, I think we'd totally like put a cameo of them in the comic, right?
I was just about to offer that we dressed as wrestlers and take some pictures with them, but
We'll just have luchador masks at the ready, if need be. We will pose with you with luchador masks.
like we'll just take a bunch of pictures. I mean, we'll wrestle you,
We will wrestle them right there on the spot.
and we'll let you win. Just because otherwise, what's the point? Dern has a little bit of trouble letting people win, but
Yeah, I'm like, you're supposed to be taking the place of Macho in this.
well, you see,
What would Macho do?
he would let the fans win.
Yeah.
Macho was all about the fans.
What would Macho
Besides,
do? The professional wrestler that was told whether or not to win or lose every time before going on the mat. He would do what he was told. Yeah.
yeah, and besides, let's not forget his appearance in Skyrim. Uh,
Oh yeah, the Macho Mod. Yes.
and he gets his ass kicked in the end.
Mm-hmm.
I tried that mod, by the way. It was hilarious. What I was not able to do was play all through the game and check out like the dragon at the end, like in the whole epic battle, which is not spoiling the game for anybody because I mean you
Wait a
probably
minute. At the end of a dragon fighting game, you fight a dragon?
yeah that's why I said it's not really spoiling
Damn.
for anybody.
Well, that ruined that one.
But yeah, it's it was kind of hilarious to have like this huge dragon just flying around the place going, "Oh yeah!"
Yeah.
It was so awesome.
Oh, Macho.
You made it into our hearts.
I miss him. I really do.
I really don't.
Really? You
Why
feel
would
you've
I?
gotten your total
Why?
full
Why
amount
would
of
I?
Macho?
No, why would I miss a guy that has like absolutely no impact in my life? Like I know, Macho basically taught us how to live, but it's not like I go every day missing Macho.
Every now and then, I think back on him, and the reality is I kind of like that. I think back on him, and he's still Macho in my head. He's not like Hulk.
Whatever happened to the Hulk? I never heard from him again.
Hulk
What
Hogan?
happened to him? Yeah.
Well, considering they're
Is he
they're
dead
actually
too?
no, he's
Very much alive?
quite frequently ruining his reputation on a
Oh.
regular basis.
Oh.
I'm just gonna let you. I'm gonna let you stay naive on this. I think you deserve that.
Well, I do remember the reality show,
Mhm.
which I didn't watch, but it was there. And I do remember the sex tape, which was bizarre. Really bizarre. And I remember that's it. That's as far as that's the
Yeah,
last I heard of the Hulk. His sex tape,
good times.
which was very, very disturbing.
I like how at one point this week we were going to make this our PG-13 episode, and right now we've got Hulk Hogan's sex tape going on.
Well, we haven't shown it, so
True.
you can mention it on a PG-13 show because,
Yeah.
like, you're not. I suppose 13-year-old kids are aware that sex tapes exist, and I'm kind of hoping that it's not like they hear the idea and say like, "Oh, let's do that."
I'm just worried that somebody out there is going to say, "Oh, there's a Hulk Hogan sex tape. Let's try and find that." No, no.
Um,
That's the thing with most sex tapes. Just leave it to the professionals, guys.
the sad reality about celebrity sex tapes is that they're never hot.
No.
I mean, this is not something you can find on the internet and whack it to. It's not. It's a fuzzy green light thing that just
Mhm.
and it's Hulk Hogan. I mean,
It's
That
rare
that
that anybody ever knows anything about good lighting or good sound. I demand quality from my smut. That's all I'm saying.
well, thing is, no, I demand quality to an extent because I do like it to feel a little bit, to have a little bit of the amateur feel.
Yeah, but even then, that amateur feel is still a
Oh yeah,
very
yeah.
professionally done feel that we're being. Yeah, it's sort of a language of thing. It's like shaky cam in an action film has to be, even though it looks like it's being done very poorly, it has to be done very well to be watchable.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I like my amateur porn that is fake amateur porn,
Wow, and
not
you
real
know,
amateur
this
porn.
topic has just gotten a weird mental image in my mind. I now have the mental image of the Cloverfield monster doing a sex tape.
Well, it would be. It does go with it, and
Yeah, that's
it's
just it. Sadly, that is the natural progression of where we are right now. Where we are right now is 22 minutes,
oh, I
and
was just checking.
and
And I'm
hmm?
glad I decided to do today's sketch this way. It's kind of a very kind of a blotchy kind of experimentation with light and shades. Something that's just a little bit fun to draw, but that I could do in the time.
And the listener fan slash death threader has noted that we probably have reached a certain level of equilibrium revenge on the possibility of him wanting you dead. We want him to think about the Hulk Hogan sex tape.
Well, the thing about the Hulk Hogan sex tape, and I'll just make it worse, is that I checked it out. I saw it actually. I did, and it's what you expect out of a sex tape if you have any sort of experience with watching sex tapes. In terms of, yeah, it's basically you don't get to see anything hot.
Mm-hmm.
Like like all the people in the world that saw like Paris Hilton's sex tape and were disappointed because you don't really get to see like anything hot or anything like that. With the Hulk Hogan sex tape, the promise it held was that the woman he was fucking was actually kinda hot,
Yeah, but no.
and you don't see it in the sex tape.
See, here's the problem that I have with that. The woman in question really looks like his daughter.
Oh no 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 no! I don't care about that. What I care about is that she was hot and you can't see it. It's like that she's hot, but you cannot see that in the sex tape.
Still,
She's
so
there,
there's a
there's
listener.
hotness involved, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not you can't appreciate it because what you see is Hulk Hogan's ass,
Nobody needs to see that.
and that's the thing. Nobody needs to see Hulk Hogan's ass, which is kind of funny though, because considering how much wrestling we've seen and the kind of clothes that they wear, I'm pretty sure everybody has a pretty clear mental image of what Hulk Hogan's ass is like.
It's just a question of waxing.
Yeah, like I mean, just you've seen it in yellow. Wait, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, the part that covers the ass.
Orange,
Yeah,
orangish red.
you've seen it in orange, and it's probably the same. Just in this case, it's gonna be its natural color.
So there was some big geek news released this past week, and it looks like Marvel signed a big deal with Netflix to come out with a Daredevil TV series, a Power Man TV series, a Jessica Jones TV series, and a Dragon Fist TV series.
Well, that's great news for people with Netflix.
Yeah, well, it'll be out there. So I have no idea if it'll ever get off of Netflix in some other way, but I'm excited about it.
Oh no, I could have Netflix if I wanted to.
Yeah, it's just you'd actually have to
Pay
subscribe
for
to
it.
it.
Yeah,
And pay for it.
you
Yeah,
have to pay for it.
yeah.
So yeah, that's not within my priorities right now.
Mm-hmm.
Which
By the yeah,
what?
I would like to point out to those listening to the recording that awful segue is not a show of bad editing. It's just that my brain finally gave up on the previous conversation and gave me an out. So we're
Yeah, you're
talking
not strong
Marvel
enough.
TV series. I broke first. I'm sorry.
I win.
I'm really not sorry. I am kind of excited because they're being smart about it, and they're not going to do all four series at the same time. they're going to share a lot of like I looked at it and I realized right away they're going to share a ton of assets between the 4 shows because they'll all take place in the same neighborhood, the same, so they can build a fake external New York Hell's Kitchen and shoot all 4 shows in that external area. Then they just have to build internal sets for the rest of the stuff. So as a creator, I think that was a pretty clever move. It lowers the budget. It allows them to do more fancy stuff in other areas.
I'm gonna say this as a person that did not hate, as the rest of the world hated, the Daredevil movie. But I do wonder if the franchise was damaged beyond repair.
Well, the owners of the franchise thought so. This is a result of, and I can't remember, was it Fox? I don't remember which studio did Daredevil and Elektra, but they straight up gave up on it, and the rights reverted back to Marvel.
Yeah, because that was some serious damage that they did to it, and I wonder, did they damage it beyond repair? But not for them. I'm talking about the audience. Like, will people be willing to get excited about Daredevil?
I think so. I think, especially in this format, Daredevil actually, I think, fits better on a TV screen situation than a movie. He's not a terribly cinematic character.
I'm just hoping they don't make it like the Daredevil drama series, which they've done before with other properties. Like, they take a sort of superhero and just make it into a kind of drama, and that's... I'm still... Like, I remember... I've been hurt before.
Mm-hmm.
So bad. And I remember
Show me on the Geek where you were touched.
Remember the Witchblade series?
Wasn't that good? I remember it existing, but I also remember it getting good reviews.
No, you see, that's the thing. Sometimes they'll make something that's not bad. It's just not what you were expecting if you were a fan of the comic.
Were you expecting like the straight up naked woman in a metal cling suit?
I was expecting the armor, and I was expecting Witchblade. And it wasn't Witchblade, and it's happened before, and we've been hurt. And
okay, TV shows that have hurt me in this specific way that you're talking about, Birds of Prey. That was a short season, came out 10 or so years ago, where it had Oracle, and it was Barbara Gordon Oracle, and it had Black Canary, and it had...
I remember it.
Did it have Batgirl or Catwoman?
I don't think
the daughter of Catwoman and Batman. And I can't remember what they were Huntress, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it had any Bat people. Like, anybody like
it
Bat
had Oracle. Oracle is a straight up Bat
Yeah,
character.
she used to be, but she wasn't in the show.
No, they did acknowledge the fact that Batman was there but went away. And so basically it's a Batman show where Batman is never going to show up. And they did have Dr. Harleen Quinzel.
Yeah.
Like, they were setting her up as the main villain. But then the huge problem that I had with this show is that it kept promising to almost give you an actual comic character. And then at the last minute, they'd yank the rug out from you, and it would be something different. Like, at one episode, it looked like they were going to do a Clayface episode. And instead, it just was a completely different character. And, oh, wait, he's not manipulating mud. He's manipulating water. Like, why not just make it Clayface?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just they kind of drama it up and all that kind of stuff, and they make it about like their lives and all that kind of stuff. I still keep on meaning to watch, for example, Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't.
I've been hearing good things about it, enough to the point that I'm going to be like, okay, fine, I need to sit down and actually start watching this from time to time. Let's see how it works. That, and also Michael Jai White is actually on Arrow as Bronze Tiger, and I don't know if you realize this, but he is a close personal friend of mine, follows me on Twitter.
Right. I remember that joke.
It's still not a joke. Like, He hasn't gone through an unfollow. Okay, a little behind the scenes. The actor that originally we know as Spawn, Michael Jai White, also as Black Dynamite, um, he started his Twitter account, and then to just like run up the amount of followers and sort of announce the fact that he has a Twitter account, somebody advised him to just start randomly following everything. And for some weird ass reason, I was on that short list of influential Twitter accounts that need to be followed. I'm really not that influential, and on top of that, the other thing that lightens my day, and why I actually follow him, is his complete lack of understanding of how Twitter hashtags actually work. Because every other day he'll throw out a tweet, and like 5 of the words of this motivational sentence will just be randomly hashtagged. So he'll hashtag words like tomorrow and love and willpower. I'm like, I don't think anybody's searching for those words, to be quite honest.
Well, they might. Just because you don't feel love and you don't believe in tomorrow.
But meanwhile, if he ever tweets about Arrow, he never hashtags like Arrow or any of the other promotional tweets to help people that are fans of his actual show find him.
I find this not amusing at all.
It's kind of it went down a boring corner. I apologize, listeners. Let's check in with the clock. All right, we've got 11 minutes and 47 seconds left. We have a zombie cosmonaut taking shape, looking very sad and frumpy.
Well, you'd be sad too.
Yeah. Is he actually in space right now, or is he
Let's see if
back
he's.
home?
Why would he be back home? What is their home for him?
Brains.
But they're space brains. So I don't
in
know.
communist Russia, space brains eat you.
Well, I will refer you to one of my favorite songs called shit. I forgot the name of one of my favorite songs.
That is a weird ass song name, man.
Rocket Dog by one of my favorite ska groups called 7 Seconds of Love.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about like the Russian space program and how, Comrade Laika, Rocket Dog.
The first dog in space, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Actually, speaking of space brains, how has there not, or maybe there has been and I just haven't spotted it, how has there not been a zombie story featuring Krang?
Featuring Krang from
Ninja Turtles. How great would that be? Krang versus zombie.
I've always been a fan of the Ninja Turtles, but I've always thought that the Ninja Turtles actually need better villains.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
What?
I've always thought that they need better villains, and maybe not in terms of the villain itself, maybe more in terms of how the villain is written. Because I've always thought, like Shredder, for example, could be awesome, but is not.
If you're talking about like the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon Shredder, yeah, he definitely needs some help. There was actually the more recent, still animated Turtles cartoon. They did a crossover featuring Krang and Shredder, and featuring Krang and Shredder from that universe, where they're kind of badass, terrifying villains, with the kind of useless Terrordrome versions of them from our childhood cartoon one. And it was kind of great to see just the sudden, like, the stark juxtaposition of just how fucking stupid they were in the 80s.
That's the other thing about the Ninja Turtles that I would definitely want to fix. And it's there's so many versions of this thing that I would just love it if they came out with a version and said, like, you know what, this one. This one is the definite one. You watch this one, and this is gonna be it. Like, yeah.
Well.
But on the other hand, everybody has the Turtles that they watched, and that they think is definitive. And It's you always it kind of makes me wonder, like, how many versions are there really? Because you always hear like about another version that
Hmm.
is not the version you saw, or it is the version you saw but you didn't know it was.
I mean, if we're being brutally honest, the original Turtles,
Or
the
the comic,
original
yeah.
Peter Eastman black and white comic, is terrible. I'm
Nice.
gonna be 100% honest.
No,
It's
no, no.
terrible.
It's refreshing to hear somebody say that.
It's a silly joke, and it was a parody comic, and somehow just the sheer concept of it kept going. But Eastman and Laird, when they made the Turtles, they made Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because they were making fun of 1990s comics, which had a huge influx of teenage comics like Teen Titans, had a huge influx of mutant comics like the X-Men, Claremont's run was that time, had a huge influx of ninjas like the Hand Clan showing up in Elektra and Daredevil, and Turtles. I can't remember if there was a lot of anthropomorphism at the time or not, but yeah, I think so. So they put them all together. They had because Daredevil was so hot at the time. They have the radioactive goo, and if you actually look at that original page where the ooze falls into the sewer, it actually falls because a truck is swerving out of the way of Matt Murdock in the moment that he turns into Daredevil. That very same ooze also falls down in the sewer and turns them into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And true to the parody form, they don't just fight the Hand Clan, which is currently fighting Daredevil. They fight the Foot Clan.
I think that was very informative.
Yeah.
You see, you learned something today, people.
Yes, you learned that Hulk Hogan had a sex tape.
And that, she was kind of hot, but you never get to see it. You mostly get to see his ass.
Mm-hmm.
And you learn that the Ninja Turtles are. I've
Oh,
always, I've always thought that the Ninja Turtles just are waiting for somebody to just do it right and definitively, not like.
they never will. It's so easy to just keep making version after version after. It's like Transformers. Like some people have what they feel is a definitive version of the Transformers, but then they're gonna constantly be more and more versions out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's. The thing with that is, I haven't been able to decide if I'm sad about it or not, because like from those versions of Transformers have come some versions that I absolutely love. I
Hmm.
am a huge Beast Wars fan. I love
Oh
Beast Wars.
gosh, and Beast Machines. The
Oh
two
yeah,
seasons after it was
yeah,
three
yeah.
seasons of Beast Wars.
I also saw Beast Machines. I still like Beast Wars better, but Beast Machines was also fun.
It was the moment in Beast Machines when we find Rhinox and he's like, dude, fuck being a good guy. Do you realize that I'm one of the most powerful robots on this planet? I like it.
Yeah, I used to love those series, so I'm like, okay, there's too many versions of Transformers, and that is kind of lame. But then again, it brought me stuff that I love,
Hmm.
like Beast Wars.
Exactly. And the fact that the people making Beast Wars at some points, I remember that storyline where they bent over backwards to actually show the arc and establish that this all happens in continuity.
Oh
And I'm
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
sure that other Transformer fans are going to jump in and point out, nope, nope, they didn't do it right. Oh well, that's a
yeah,
shame.
yeah. So yeah, so like one of my favorite versions of Transformers is that it's Beast Wars.
Hmm.
So by all that, like I say, okay, so I guess I'm not gonna complain with other things that have too many versions, but
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having multiple options. So I think you're an idiot. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to stick with that. You have just under 4 minutes left.
yeah, I know. But why do you think I'm an idiot? Because I don't
Uh,
like Krang?
no, no, no. I'm saying that if there's versions out there that you don't like, so what?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a
Yeah.
version you do like. Just focus on what you like.
I just think Krang could be so much more awesome.
Yeah, it has potential.
Yeah, and Shredder, I mean, I've seen Shredder like in versions that I thought were cool. Like even the movie Shredder is kind of cool in the first one, kind
Hmm.
of. But then,
The
you know,
mutated second Shredder, like it would have been better if it was just straight up Vanilla Ice.
but you see, the second movie is one of those so bad that it's good things because the second
Because Ninja
movie.
Rap.
Yeah, it's just that the second Ninja Turtles movie kind of sums up everything that was going on in that decade, and how, like all our memories of that decade can easily be summed up in that movie.
Hmm.
And it was just such a. I remember when I saw it as a kid and how awesome I thought it was. That is just like the story of us living that decade. It's so
Here's
cool.
the funny thing. Like here is actually Kid Darren going and seeing Secret of the Ooze and getting so psyched up, like, oh my god, they're actually going to give us answers. They're going to explain where did this ooze come from, why was it made, why does it act this way. I'm ready to go for this. And then Kid Darren walking out of the theater, and in my head, I'm just thinking, that movie didn't say shit about the ooze, man. I'm like, what? It's a lab that made ooze. They didn't learn anything. They just blew it up. What?
that
Where was the secret?
that was the moment you became an official geek, like
That's the moment
okay.
that I actually just started like hating on things for nitpick reasons.
Yeah, that was when you
Mhm.
became like the geeky kid that just hates everything and nothing is up to his standards and
Which
stuff.
reminds me, I do have an irrational hatred that I wanted to throw in there. Uh, the word confluence. All geek creators stop using it.
I've
If
never
the
heard it
plant,
before.
it's the concept of all the planets get into alignment. And
Oh,
then something
conversions?
magical, or the convergence, or the confluence, or things like that. Convergence, I think, is actually the correct term. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, stop using that as like a magical countdown clock.
Where
For
else have
start,
you seen it
hmm?
lately?
Legend of Korra was using it,
Oh, okay.
and without giving too much away, Thor 2 uses it in a way that I will give them a pass. But otherwise, if you're talking about the 9 or 8 planets in our solar system getting perfectly into a line, that type of alignment, while first off it doesn't do much, second off it won't happen on an exact cycle. It wouldn't be every 5,000 years. It wouldn't be every 10,000 years. It would be maybe 10,000 years this time, and then the next time in 50 years, and then the next time 20,000 years. Because our planets, even though they move in a circle, they're not a disk. If you think of our solar system as a disk spinning, it's that's incorrect because it's much more like braids of hair slowly wrapping themselves around the sun's orbit. Because the sun is not staying still, it's moving, and we're all spinning and chasing the sun.
Look at you having a geek brain
Hey,
moment.
their clock is up.
Okay. So let's look at the bounty today.
Yes.
We have
We have a zombie cosmonaut.
right now, we have the first half of the sketchcast. We produced the final parts of this page. We did the entire upper background,
Mm-hmm.
and in the second part of this sketchcast, we sketched out this lovely Soviet cosmonaut who looks very sad and very disappointed. I want to think that this was actually the first man on the moon, and he didn't really like what he saw. He was disappointed. He was expecting more.
You mean the first Russian on the moon?
Soviet.
I first Soviet on the moon, because I
Yes.
will defend the U.S.'s honor of being first on the moon.
No, no, it was this guy. They got this guy there first, before the U.S., before anybody, before people even knew about the moon. This guy
Mm-hmm.
got to the moon. The Russians got him there. They shot him directly, not like on a ship or anything. Just like
Yeah.
they shot him there, and he got there and he was very disappointed. He did not see what he expected to see, and he just stayed there. And this guy, he went out and greeted the U.S. astronauts when they got there. I wish I could do a Russian accent, but I don't really have the capacity to do accents in me. So, but he went out and
but it
greeted.
never stops me.
He went out and greeted Mr. Armstrong, and basically told him, greetings. There is not shit to see here. It's the moon. Here it is. Who would have guessed? While we were, that what we were seeing from Earth was actually all there was to see.
Just a big rock.
Yeah, and they sat down, they had a chat, but in the end, Mr. Armstrong did have to tell me, dude, I'm sorry, but I can't take you back to Earth. First of all, because you don't fit, and second, because you're dead. And yeah. So this is him looking at Neil Armstrong, looking very disappointed because Neil Armstrong is not going to bring him back to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And the background is not space, though. This is a background.
It's actually, he came in to pose for his junior picture day in high school.
Yeah, he managed.
Lifestyle Studio is there. Drop the backdrop there, and it's just time for his 11th grade picture.
So yeah, that's what happened, and it's very sad and very disappointing. But then again, yeah,
that's life.
So any closing remarks from the chat room or anything?
We'll take one last round of questions, and while we wait for the questions to come in, I did want to. I left a caveat out, but I didn't explain it because my rage hit the timer clock. I said I was giving Thor 2 a pass on the convergence issue. It occurs to me because the 9 realms in Thor, while they are 9 separate planets, they're also 9. They're not. They're realms of existence. They're not talking about the actual planets lining up. They're talking
they
about
don't exist
the
in the
9
same
planes.
Yeah, they don't exist. It's not like you can. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know if you can fly from one to the other directly.
Yeah.
But I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think they actually are 9 different planes of existence.
Yeah.
They all orbit a tree, and
which does bring me to a question in the movie that I can't ask without spoiling it to the people listening.
All right. You know what? We're going to really quickly say goodbye to anybody who doesn't want Thor 2 spoiled.
Okay.
Goodbye. Thank you for joining us. We'll do another broadcast Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, so the movie makes it very clear that these are not like places you can just travel from one to the other, because they can't even do that like themselves. They have to actually get the Bifrost and all that kind of shit. And,
or the Tesseract.
Yeah, so they can fly from one planet to the other. They can't just kind of like build a spaceship and go to one of these other planes. And
unless you're a dark elf.
And yet, oh yeah, but that's because your ship does something,
It does something, yeah.
Yeah, it has some sort of mojo there. And yet, when Thor is fighting at the end of the movie and he starts going from plane to plane, the hammer just flies out into space as if it were able to reach it.
Excellent
eventually.
point. They probably can reach it. I think, actually, okay. Yes, that Mjolnir is trying to actually follow Thor as he leaves from one planet to the other. So yes, you can get from planet to planet, but time.
So we're just talking about like light years and light years and light years and
yes.
And okay, because yeah, I remember that part. He's going from plane to plane in a sequence that I thought was actually pretty cool, and the hammer is just kind of flying around as if it were eventually going to reach him, which brings me to one of my favorite lines of the movie, when we have
Darcy
sees the hammer and goes Mew Mew. I just lost it at that point.
As a sequel goes, it was very clever in the limited callbacks that it did to the first movie. It brought the characters back in very natural, organic ways. It did make the Mew Mew joke again. and it made it in a way that made sense. And other than that, it did have a metaphorical callback when you see Volstagg the Voluminous finish his beer and throw his beer mug down on the ground,
Oh yeah.
and it then cuts over to Thor, and he's like, "Oh, I used to be a dick like that. Now I'm going to go into my mutually no-sex relationship with Sif now. Sup, Sif? You want a drink? Ain't got time for that."
Which, by the way, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but if it were up to me, I would have chosen her. I was thinking she was looking especially hot in that movie, and Natalie Portman is well, still quite beautiful. I was digging, I was digging the Asgardian a lot more.
Sif?
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah,
the thing,
they
though.
are.
I just came to this realization. First off, I do have a standing theory that any thunderstorms actually make Jane Foster enormously horny. Like, the moment a thunder crashes, she just... and I made the joke to my wife in theater, and I said, yeah, she probably gets wet every single time there's a thunderstorm. And then I thought about, yeah, because it's raining. But no, here's the thing. Every single night, Thor slips away, goes over to Heimdall, and asks if he sees her.
Ask-
There's clearly another step there. In my mind, he then starts asking Heimdall, so, Heimdall, what is she wearing? No, don't look at me. Just keep looking at her. Tell me what she's doing now. Now? Yeah?
So I'm guessing Heimdall helps him not because he wants to help him, just because he just wants that shit over.
It's like, oh god, just stop coming here, Thor. Oh look, hey, Thor, I can't see her. She's probably in trouble. You should go find her and actually use your other Mjolnir instead of talking to me. This is getting weird, my lord.
Yeah. Oh, and yesterday, I had the pleasure of showing Pacific Rim to my girlfriend.
Oh,
She had not been able to see it because I was a dick last time, and I saw it with you.
You saw it with somebody very important to you.
Yeah, I saw it with you instead of her, which really should make you feel a lot better about our relationship. So,
yeah.
So I went and saw Pacific Rim with you instead of her, but this weekend I finally got a chance to sit down and watch Pacific Rim with her, and aside from absolutely loving it, Thor did kind of change the way I saw the guy that plays.
Wait, Thor changed Idris Elba for you?
Yeah.
Because Pacific Rim changed Idris Elba for me.
Well, no, it's just because since the other person with me, my girlfriend, had seen Thor before she saw Pacific Rim.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sitting here on the couch watching Pacific Rim. When that guy shows up, she's like, "Wait a minute, isn't that Heimdall?" and I look at him and I'm like, "Yeah,
Wait,
it
you
is."
didn't realize it was?
Oh, no. I mean, it's not. It's not. I mean, I never thought about it.
Yeah.
I never thought about it that it was him, but I look at him like, yeah, that's him, and it just changed him for me, like.
Because the whole time I'm watching it, I'm watching Thor 2, I'm just waiting for Heimdall to say, wait a minute, I gotta go pick up my Jaeger.
No,
I'm gonna get some Coyote Tango. We're gonna end this threat right now.
No, we're just watching Pacific Rim, and the whole time I'm just waiting for him to walk out of the Shatter Dome, stand looking at the ocean, and just see the kaiju coming. Yeah, I was just waiting for it, and but the thing that kind of bugged me the most were the eyes, because he has these different colored eyes in Thor,
Mm-hmm.
and it just makes him look so different, and he looks much larger in Thor.
Let's be honest though, Heimdall, hands down the worst in terms of actually keeping Asgard secure.
Well,
I'm sorry, he tries hard, he means well,
I
but
think he suffers from a lot of Yoda syndrome,
movie
which
after
is
movie, he's committing treason.
well. The thing is, he suffers. I think he definitely suffers from Yoda syndrome, which is a term I just made up, but it works pretty well. And it's basically that they make this character that is supposed to be very powerful, very wise, um, very dependable, but the entire plot of the movie depends on him failing to do his job. So he just, like, during the entire movie, this guy just cannot do his job right. And if he did, there'd be no movie, which is exactly what happens with Yoda. If you look at Yoda, he just fails through the entire 6 movies. Like,
You know what? We're not going to train this one.
We're not gonna what?
You know what? We're not going to train this kid.
Yeah, I mean,
Got a bad
Yoda
feeling
just,
about it. I don't care if he made a dead man promise. Sucks to be him.
Yoda just, yeah, he just completely fails all through the 6 movies to do what he is supposed to do, and Heimdall fails through all 2 movies to do what he's supposed to do, and yeah, it's Yoda syndrome. Like, you're not really very good at your job. I wonder why people admire you so much. Are you going through rough times?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just a bad week for him. A bad couple years.
Yeah, like they should make a disclaimer on the movie. Like, normally Heimdall is very good at what he does.
Yeah.
But now he, it's with the economy and he's got a lot of stuff on his mind and all that kind of shit. But yeah, and with Yoda, like, I don't know what the fuck that guy's problem is, because he is just like, I just, there's a part of me that thinks that maybe what happened with Yoda is that he was never really very good. And just that, since he's small and green and different and kind of funny looking, everybody just decided to kind of humor him. And the whole joke just got really way out of hand.
The only people that actually realized it was a joke die off when he's like 500 years old.
Yeah, and so eventually it just gets completely out of control. Yoda completely buys into it, and nobody has the heart to tell him for a while, and then, it just becomes like that's the way it is. Nobody even remembers that it was a joke, but everybody secretly thinks, why do we listen to this guy? Like, if he were drunk, it would at least explain some things, but no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
like in between scenes, Mace Windu is just yelling at him, "Fucking grammar! Use it, motherfucker!"
No. What I imagine happens, like, when they more or less manage to kind of function, is that, they're both sitting there and everything, and the people come in, and they wait for their orders, and Yoda gives them, and then they just kind of turn to Mace Windu without Yoda noticing it, and he kind of, without Yoda noticing, kind of just shakes his head like, no, no, don't do that, don't do that. Meet me outside, like, we'll talk about it. Because that's kind of the way it had to work for me, and I can just imagine kind of Mace Windu, like, really angry, like people coming back from missions that failed or whatever, and they're like, what the fuck were you doing on Alderaan? Well, Yoda sent me. Why the fuck are you listening to Yoda?
And then if you think about it, everything finally falls apart for real the moment the Emperor actually finally nuts up and kills Mace Windu.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Wow, I just completely solved the Star Wars saga.
Yep. And then the great plan that Yoda has, it is Yoda's plan too, is, you know what? The worst person, the second worst person in the world, just had 2 babies. Let's just wait to see how these kids grow up, see how they pan out. Not, this is a kid that we could potentially turn into a weapon. Let's start training him immediately the moment he turns 5 years old and she turns 5 years old. It's no, let's hide this one over with the most influential family of a planet, of people that are probably going to have a say in galactic government from here on out, so that the Emperor has a huge amount of chances to see her. And let's hide this one over at that kid's home planet and hope that he never gets homesick.
Yeah, that's We just
God,
solved
I just
Star Wars.
realized that is the dumbest plan ever.
Oh, you just
And Yoda
realized
thinks
that?
it's great.
Oh yeah, but
And he
that's
takes
the
one
thing.
of the most skilled Jedi he has left. Limited resources. He takes the most skilled Jedi he has left, and his job is to sit on a fucking dust ball of a rock, hold onto his lightsaber, and wait to murder a teenager if it looks like he's gone evil. Because you realize that's what Obi-Wan's doing on
Well,
Tatooine, right?
that
The moment he sees a hint of dark side, he is putting a lightsaber through the Temple
well,
of
that
Luke.
is well. I mean, that's not what he's doing in the books, but still.
Yeah. Well, if you watch episode 4 carefully, realize that's an old man waiting to murder a kid. In fact, his very first test is to hand Luke a lightsaber just to see what he's going to do with it. And he's watching carefully, and Luke saves his own life because the very first thing Luke does is stare down the barrel of the lightsaber. He puts his eye right up to where the blade comes out. And you could see in his head, you could see a mixture of relief and sadness in Obi-Wan at this moment. Like, okay, don't have to kill him, but oh goddamn, is this kid stupid? He ain't gonna save us. And so Obi-Wan's plan then at this point is like, fuck it, I'm not training this kid. I'll give him some pointers and whatever, but I'm gonna go take out this damn Death Star myself. Like, I gotta do it. Someone's gotta get it done.
It's just like the I remember when I was watching the movie. Okay, I was watching episode 3. Yoda, he goes to fight the Emperor. Of course, everybody's in on the joke, so the Emperor just kind of lets him think he's winning for a while, lets him play around and everything, and then just gets tired of him and kicks Yoda's ass. So Yoda crawls into the tunnel, goes out into the car, and he tells Bail Organa that he failed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a few years later, I read the novel, and he gives this huge speech of why he failed and what it was that he did wrong. Like in this, and reading it, I remember thinking like, this is like Yoda's only moment of clarity in his life. Like he's just been full, and I'm not being offensive here. I'm actually referencing a very good movie, Tropical Thunder. He went full retard his whole life, and suddenly the clouds kind of clear out, and he has like one brief moment of clarity where he realizes what he's been doing his whole life, and he gives this speech to Bail Organa about how he failed. And it's supposed to be this very emotional and actually very well written speech that he does. And all I remember thinking is, no shit, man, really? You just thought of this?
Man, you never go full Yoda.
Yeah, you never go. You just went full Yoda.
Yep.
And I would like to propose, if anybody is still listening, if anybody is still listening to us,
Amazingly, yes, they are. But yeah,
I would love to propose that from now on, whenever you, because we all know that person that is just absolutely wrong and absolutely incapable of doing their job well, but are also absolutely unaware that they don't know shit and that they are completely inept, and they just continue to function as if they were good at what they do constantly. I propose we call those people Yodas.
It's basically like we're giving ourselves the opportunity in a very geeky way to label stupidity for being stupid without being offensive to people who have been genetically handed a misfortune.
But these are people. I mean, this is not just stupidity. This is stupidity that leads you to screw up constantly, and a complete refusal to realize that you're screwing up, and not just that, but a firm belief that you are the complete opposite of that.
By the way, I'd like to point out the moment that we pointed out that amazingly people still are listening to us. At that specific moment, we had a dip in viewers.
Like people left?
People left like, oh crap, we are still listening to this shit. Fuck that noise.
But yeah, like every single stupid person that is screwing everything up not just doesn't realize it, but also thinks that they are absolutely capable and good at what they do. Like that level of blind stupidity and stubbornness, and that mix, that's a Yoda.
Holy shit! Oh my god! Oh fuck! Empire Strikes Back. How much stupid shit did Luke have to do in those montages that we didn't even get to see? For that matter, why did he have to be, like, doing a handstand on one hand to make rocks float? Like, how would that make things better? Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Just think of all the stupid training he had to do.
Well, I
Like,
don't know.
I bet you, I will bet you $10 that you can never collect because we'll never be able to prove this. Yoda made Luke eat poop.
An argument that it was all about the focus.
Eat poop, you must.
And it had to be his
into the
poop.
cave was specifically told. Now think about the moment Luke is going into the cave and being told, no, don't bring your weapons in there. Luke is either thinking two things at that moment. He is either thinking, fuck you, little green dude. I do not trust anything that comes out of your mouth. I'm bringing my weapons. Or Luke actually believes that bringing weapons will endanger his life, and he's like, you know what? If I get killed right now, I'm good. How suicidal does Luke get after dealing with Yoda?
I just one of the things that disappoints me, or one of the things I would love, is for somebody should like grab, like somebody with a lot of video editing skills should modify the movies so people in Star Wars constantly say to each other stuff like, "No shit, really?" Because to me, Star Wars has a lot, and I love Star Wars like more than many things.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, Star Wars is totally filled with "no shit, really" moments, and one of them is Return of the Jedi. Luke goes and sits down to talk with Yoda and Obi-Wan, and they basically, tell him that they knew about everything all along, and they just decided that it would be best not to tell him stuff and all that kind of stuff. And I remember, even as a kid, like I saw the Return of the Jedi for the first time when I was about 8.
Mm-hmm.
And even as a kid watching that, I remember thinking, how the fuck could you think not telling me was a good idea? Like, really?
Like that was the plan? Seriously?
Like, do you realize how stupid what you're telling me is? And I was just waiting for Obi-Wan when he's sitting there talking to Luke, just to, shrug and say, like, dude, screwed up.
You ate poop.
It happens, man. Look, dude, you've lived with him for a while. Look what I had to put up with.
Poop eater.
And
Also, totally watch you masturbate.
And then,
Stop thinking about your sister.
And then finally, when Luke arrives at the Death Star, Darth Vader, the Emperor, and Luke are there. I like to think that they cut out from the movie the moment where they all just agree, like, they just make fun of Yoda for a while. They just start trading Yoda stories. They just sit down, have a drink, and trade Yoda stories.
Yeah, like, dude, seriously, I was right next to them the whole time, kids.
Yeah, and then Luke tells him, about the time he made him eat poop and stuff like that, and Darth Vader's just annoyed and stuff.
It's like, God damn it, you're my son. I expected a little better out of you.
Yeah, and that would have just made the whole saga so much better,
Okay. With that, we're almost at the 2-hour mark right now. I think now, with Yoda making Luke eat poop, I think that is culturally as high of a point as we ever could hope to achieve.
Before we finish the show, don't forget to tell people what artist we might have next week.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Some emails need to be going out and be answered in the next 24 hours. We hope to have a guest artist next week. I will say that. We do have some people in mind that will be getting special invites sent to them very soon.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
This is a case of Dern the daddy making a very poor timing decision and forgetting to send those emails out.
oh, okay.
My apologies. But anyhow,
Well, it was nice talking to you people. Thank
at the
you.
very least, we will have the ultimately talented Darren J. Gendron doing the audio, and then this guy doing art.
And thank you to the person that recommended the Soviet cosmonaut. It was it was a fun, very different image to make.
That was actually a group suggestion. It started off with a astronaut and then a zombie astronaut from one viewer and a different viewer suggesting Soviet.
Well, there you have it.
Yes, it was a group effort. So tune in next week at 8 p.m. for the Scallywags Sketchcast.